opening and closing because of the wind. Won't be too long. There we go. Okay. The door keeps opening and closing because of the wind, so I'm letting it open. No, not at all. Yeah, I know. No, I'm watching him. Whoa, no! No. I don't want to send him away. I forgive you, Elif, but I want you beside me, not behind me. I'm not asking you to trade one master for another.
That would be an honor.
His voice is sullen and quiet. Before we move on, I'd like to discuss a few things. About your parents. He looks at you cautiously, yes? Why was your mother gone so often? She was invited to join the ghosts. Yeah. She was invited to join Aimneg with a landed Thane when I was very young. His estate was a 5-day ride from our home in the Sithwood, so that was part of it. He gives you the smallest of frowns. The real issue, however, was my father. Despite his initial agreement with the arrangement, father was never happy with it. He would hound and harangue my mother when she was home. He wanted to know whether she was intimate with a Thane, and no matter how many times she swore she wasn't, it was never enough. As you can imagine, that led to her coming home much less often, even though she still supported us financially. Sounds like your father had a problem with his temper. He had a problem with my mother's Heimneg. Even though they agreed upon it long ago that the financial benefits would be considerable, that it was little different from his role as the Earl's steward, it ate at him. And so he drank and raged. When he was home, he raged at her, and when she wasn't, he raged at me. More than anything, he wanted me to become an arcane knight in the service of his Earl. I think he felt this would validate his chosen career and master. He was a firm man, as you saw, but in the end, I became a successful wizard, due in no small part to his strictness. What's an Aimneg? A ceremonial marriage between folk and elf. Because the Aether mainland has historically been split between the two races, we have many institutions that are designed to normalize relations. Our monarchy is headed by folk, but an elven consort rules alongside the reigning Furkoning and Mekwin. This is the most prominent example of Aimneg. In many cases, a Aimneg allows two households to pool resources. Among the aristocracy, Aimnegs consolidate powers. Sometimes, as in my mother's case, the Aimneg is a means for a noble to add another administrator to his or her household. Consorts are received with almost the same level of respect as their noble counterparts, which can be extremely useful. Of course, Aimnegs are sometimes used to sanitize an extramarital affair. He shrugs. I don't know that it's really any better, but it seems to satisfy common notions of decency. And elf and folk unions are sterile, which no doubt eases some concerns. Very well. So, now you understand a little bit more about Isilmir. He wrinkles his nose. No thank to that animancer. My spleen? Black bile? Come on. Belaseji's methods were flawed, but you still learned something, didn't you? Only because you and I have a lick of good sense between us, but the average person, show them a shiny gadget in the hands of an expert and they believe anything. Perhaps. Animancy has its uses, but it's hard to say whether those outweigh the dangers. It's too decentralized. There's no one to keep the practice in check. No uniform principles or guidelines. Putting that much power in the hands of a single authority is no better. He raises an eyebrow. It's not a perfect solution, but it's better than chaos we have now. How exactly did you come to join the Leyland Key? As it often is with such follies, I was young and directionless. The Leyland Key promised some of the structure I was lacking, and they offered me a future far removed from service to my father's Earl. Animancy is, possibly, even more controversial in Aedir than it is here. The practice has been outlawed for 600 years, but prohibition as a way of breeding curiosity. The success and relative acceptance that animancy is found here and in the Valiant Republics spurred a renewed interest in Aedir. The Lenin Key began recruiting more aggressively, and I was in the final period of my training when one of my instructors reached out to me. He shrugs. As I said, it was a welcome departure from my father's plan, and after seeing a few of my colleagues abandon their studies in magic to pursue animancy in the Republics, I was convinced that something needed to be done to stop the spread. Okay, that's all.
Hey there.
That's all, bro.
I'll see what I can find.
That is all. So, before we go to the DLC, we'll go do Caed Nua. I agreed it would be cool to go and explore that. So we'll do that first. Also, we can, you know, sleep and resupply there, like, pretty much all the time. So that's actually perfect. So, I'm excited. Also, I'm sad, though. There was some quests we couldn't finish in the city. Like Aedir's quest. Like, we had to go to the freaking, archives. We can't go there anymore.
I must say, I'm impressed.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Any ideas?
Say what you want about Dear Woodens. They haven't met the problem yet they couldn't solve by killing some scapegoats.
He flashes a hollow smile. You fight for people because you see something there that deserves defending. Even more so because someone you trust sees it too. Then you turn around and they do something like this, and the person who made you want to help them is gone. They're doing what they think the gods want of them. It's nice that they mean well, but how can organized murder be their best guess? Although, come to think of it, maybe they're just following Wenwen's example. He was purging his own long before Deerwoods got the idea, only he was purging because they weren't Ethoresians enough. Never thought I'd find myself missing the hospitality back home. Yeah, but still, I wanted to do all the quests. That makes me sad a little bit. Come on, guys. I only have one campfire supply. That makes me a little bit sad. We'll have to see if it's possible to do it later. Like, yeah, I'm assuming there's a point in which we can return to that place. Can we? I'm not sure. Can we return to Defiance Bay later? Or was that it and I just missed it?
Welcome.
But if somebody can check that up for me, I would really appreciate it. That'd be great. If it can be used to hurt or heal someone, I have it here for sale. Okay, let's sell stuff. Cool. Yeah, here we go. He's got his armor back. Cool. Probably don't have enough to enchant anything else to exceptional. I don't think so. Nah. No, I need 2 brains.
Yeah?
Google says you can return later. The Defiance Bay isn't open now, but once you visit Twin Elms, you can, so just save it for later. Okay, cool. Awesome. Super sweet. Thanks, Ericlus. Do appreciate it, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, why don't we sleep? Let's get one of our things that we want. Survival, no. Lore, no. Perception, stealth, athletics, constitution. We'll take that. Half asleep, a tide of deafening whispers assail you, chipping away at your senses, at your mind's understanding of itself. The roar is louder with each passing night, their attacks more brazen, less confined to your subconscious. A familiar voice fights its way through the din, calling out to you.
Hey! Hey! You gotta stop it with that. Just about punched you to snap you out of it. You're saying things, but they weren't any words I ever heard. You were shaking so hard I thought you'd crack your spine.
Ender rolls his eyes, relieved to see you looking back at him. He shakes his head. What happened to the bucket of cold water? Ender shrugs and looks away, considering his smile poorly. What would I do without a friend to punch me?
Oh, it's nice to feel needed. I'd have Voki sooner, but I thought it'd be nice for you to be able to close your eyes a bit. Folks don't last long without sleep.
Ender twitches his eyebrows.
You're twitchy these days. Reminds me of Meyerwald more than I'd like. Anything I can do, you just let me know. We're close on this one. Hang on a little longer. We'll get you fixed up.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Let's start chipping away at it. Let's see how that goes. I wonder how many, like floors there are of this dungeon. Because it's obviously not endless, you know? But, like, it's probably pretty deep. I'm hoping, like, for a lot of them. Okay, Charlie. Love your face, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. And enjoy your playtime in Tyranny. It is a very good game. That would be telling... No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. I want to keep the secret. I want to keep the secret. Okay. So I think it's this place, right? It has to be this door. Because I saw that last time, and I just... there was nothing I could do with it.
Margaret's fire casts light in dark places.
Maybe it's not that? Do I need to talk to the lady first? Maybe I need to talk to the steward first. Like, tell her, like, you know, like, it's on the right side. Oh, it's here. Yeah, you're right.
Eyes open.
Yeah, okay. Cool, man.
Isn't this something?
Another Starker thingy. Thanks, Ericlus. You're right. I wonder what that big door is then. Because there's like obviously a giant ass door with something behind it, but we can't open it. Oh, Xorips. Regular Xorips and worms too.
Got stuck over here.
That's it.
Show him how it's done! Show him how it's done! They'll never know I'm here.
Okay. Let's take a look at this for a second. This crooked effigy has been cobbled together with logs, scaled hides, and bones. A human skull adorns the top. Hold on, guys. Cool. Oh, I'm so excited. There's obviously a trap there.
Hey.
I'll teach you a lesson! Easy does it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be careful here.
Hey.
Let's do...
And that's how it
No, no, no.
For the Republics! Hey there. I'll teach you.
Thought she was walking in the trap.
That look. I'll teach Hey there.
Whew.
Yeah? Nice to see you too. There. What did I tell you? There. What did I tell you?
I found a piece of an ancient sword? A broken blade. This is the upper half of a broken blade. The metal is of fine quality, and it is unclear what caused it to snap neatly at midpoint. Okay. Pretty
Sure.
interesting.
Yeah?
Aye?
These ones are in for a walloping. These ones are in for...
I like that I'm behind him.
Hey there. Be cautious. Be constant. Sure.
The Zarb is lying in a corner of the chamber. Its ribs show starkly beneath its scaly hide, and its breathing is labored, each whistling breath causing obvious discomfort. It doesn't seem to be reacting to your presence. Examine him. Perception. You look the sick creature over and notice that its skin shows some discoloration, with ugly patches of yellow and livid purple. You know that these seem to coincide with the placement of the ritualistic paint that has been daubed onto the creature. Cut its throat. The Gazzara barely makes a sound. There is a muted wet gurgle, and then the creature lies still, blood pooling beneath the withered body. Soon enough, its eyes are glassy, empty of life. Revis leans over and examines the Gazzara lifeless body. A merciful decision. The poor creature was beyond saving. He looks at you and solemnly nods.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. It's like the paint used for the symbols was like acidic or, you know, poisonous or something.
Hey there. Bullseye.
Okay, this is fairly easy, but I think it's supposed to be. Like, I'm pretty sure like it's gonna get harder and harder and harder as we go forward. And like, probably pretty fast. Curled against the inside of this broken shell is a tiny white shape. Only when a tiny toothed maw opens to let out a frightened squeak is it clear that it is a small worm, recently hatched. Pick up the worm. No. Hold the phone. Oh, it's flying too! Aw, it's so cute!
Sure.
Bro. That's awesome. These cracked eggshells are leathery but brittle. Most of them have been trampled into a fine dust stamped with tiny clawed footprints. I want to keep my cat though. But it's cool that we have a drake. Because, you know what guys? If you guys would see Snow, he looks exactly like that cat. So that's why like it feels like I'm just playing and Snow is just like walking around in there just meowing.
Isn't this something?
Well, it appears we'll rest. Did we just rest? There was no video or anything. Seeking employment, he was nearly set upon by brigands on the road. Oh.
nice and quiet.
Okay.
I'll teach you a lesson. I'll teach you a...
Come on. There we go.
They'll never know I'm here.
Oh man, it's going pretty well. Pretty darn well. I'm gonna make a mint out of all of
Sure.
this. Zeratzia, thank you so much for that host. Stepping into this chamber, you are assailed by a cacophony of screeches, growls, and barks. Blood-spattered Xarips dance in frenetic leaping motions. To one side, Xarip plunges his hand into a bucket teeming with blood to daub patterns onto other eagers to join the right. At the far end of the room, one Xarip wearing the long skull of a young drake and vibrant feathers shakes his staff towards the gathered Xarip, screeching and clicking. The High Priest suddenly raises the staff above his head, shrieking with renewed vigor. He swings the staff downward to point it at the pit and then at you. I'm not sure I like that suggestion. Yeah, I don't like it either. There we go.
I can't move. That's it.
Okay. No, I still need more. Just a bit more. Oh, I missed. Shit.
That's it.
Okay, now I didn't miss.
Show them how it's done! Show them how it's done!
Die.
Whew! Turn back? Don't be a coward, Casta. We cannot stop now. Too many have died. There is only death upon the endless path. Okay.
Be constant. Sure.
The blood spilled from this bucket seems to have eaten into the stone. The rope tied to the bucket looks long enough to descend into the pit. This bucket is filled with blood and gives off an acrid stench. You recognize it as Mukga's tears, a powerful poison.
Isn't this something?
Measured restraint. A rapier.